Good morning. We slept the whole night through. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dean Callan Show. Tonight, coming from you to you live. All right. Hey, mate.
Yeah, is your address, please?
78A, yep, for the Guinness cake?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, don't bring it.
Hello? Oh my god. Can you hear me? If you is there anyone that can hear me? Tell me if you can hear me. I can see. Yeah, is that fireworks? Front door of the house. I didn't think so. But I'm receiving a Guinness. I just think the guy with the Guinness keg, he's disappeared. I don't know where he's gone. This is hilarious. Come on, Guinness keg guy. Where's he gone? I'm receiving a Guinness. I just think the guy with the Guinness keg. This is hilarious. Come on, Guinness keg guy. Where's he gone? So if you're able to hear the sound, mate, come on, come on, come on. Come on, Guinness keg. You can do it, buddy. Where are you? If you're able to hear the sound, yes. Mate, come on, come on, come on. Guinness keg. All right.
What's your name, please?
Dean Callan. D-E-A-N. Do I need to sign?
Just your name.
Okay, thank you. It's all right, I got it from here.
Thank you.
Oh, actually, could you do me a huge favor?
What?
Could you close the gate behind me? Can I? Oh, I can pick it up with one hand. It's all right. Thank you. La da 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 dum dee. All right. Thank you. This is going to be amazing. Oh, right. Let's see. How's that? Looks like I broke my bar. Oh. How does that look? Why is the guest in the green room? Bruh. Daniel, can you hear me? Why is the guest in the green room? Hey, mate. Bruh. All right. Can you hear me? It's coming up as a warning for your audio, Daniel. Bro? It's coming up as a warning for your audio, Daniel. It's not showing you. Can you give me any audio? Do we know what it might be? Because I haven't got you on mute. Guys, if you're able to hear Daniel, let me know. Can anyone hear Daniel? It's kind of eerily quiet. No? All right. You back, buddy? No. I don't know what's going on, but for some reason, I am not getting audio from you. Let's see if it's this. This sucks. Come on, guys. Anyone that can see us, let us know if you're getting any audio, because I am not seeing a thing. All right, I'll tell you what. If you can hear this, keep tuned in. I'm going to exit out. I'm going to come back in again with a fresh stream, and we'll hopefully get past this. I apologize, but I'm going to go back to a different system. Unless this works. And add left.
How about now?
Yay! I got you.
Okay, right. You need to then bear with me 2 minutes because I've had to go from phone to camera to laptop. So
that's all right. We got 2 minutes.
Perfect. So let me set up the laptop then. Jesus Christ. The links we go to.
One thing I will say is, here we go. Let me move that across. I was about to ask, are you able to see comments?
No, all I see is eCam. So unless I go on the Facebook.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, you'll be the comment guy. Just give me a moment. Let me just get what I think.
All right, I'm seeing everyone's comments now. I got Hadrian, I got Ian Matthews, I got Amit, I got Gabby, Diogo, Jack Sotti. Come on, Guinness man! Guinness keg has arrived, Jack. It's going to be a good lockdown. At least for my vitamin G, it will be a good lockdown. I'm going to have to wake up and do a run and a cycle and like some sort of fitness every day so that I can justify my drinking Guinness every afternoon. All right.
Okay, I'm on.
Working. This is great. We've got great interaction. Right. Fantastic. Here we go. Sound is crystal. Mate, do you have the list of ingredients required to make this cocktail that they kind of said we should be doing?
I have it. In fact, because I've freed up my phone, then it should be quite easy to get. There might be an echo because I'm using the microphone built into the laptop.
Oh, wait a minute. Gabby, did you just comment saying that Daniel looks like a grown-up Axel?
I don't even know.
He kind of does look like a grown-up Axel.
I'll take it.
That's so good.
Does this sound? No, it's not good. Let's not do the AirPods thing. Right.
Mate, I didn't take too much notice of the ingredients, but one thing I did notice within the ingredients, there was a lot of sour mix, and sour mix.
Yes, I don't have like so much sour mix, so I just have sugar, lemon, and lemon.
I think we're going to have to go rogue on our sour mix, mate. I mean, when was the last time you actually used sour mix? Wait, I have sour bum, bum. Look at that.
What
super
is that?
Sour.
The completely Belgian, super not racist sort of connotations.
All right. Here we go. What? I lost that. What's the connotation? You can explain it to me later. Okay. I'm not the most woke person in the feed, obviously. Right. So, I think what we do. So this is the list of cocktails for those. Shit. Can I put this image up? What are you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
Nothing. I'm just vibing to you, whatever you're saying.
Let me try to share it with the computer so I can actually put it on everyone's screen.
I feel like I have a slight delay. I feel there's a small delay, but I hope that's okay.
Do you think the delay is happening within the audio, or?
I think it might be the internet for some strange reason.
Okay, that's not good. Well, look. So everyone watching, here's the cocktails. I might actually just exit out of this. I might try to like. So that you can see what we're doing. If you haven't seen it before, nah, that's not going to work out, is it? Basically, there's this like amazing image. You can probably make out a Midori bottle that Midori obviously shared quite a while ago, because I wouldn't say it's the most responsible advertisement. And it says how to go through a bottle of Midori. Right? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And in the how to Salvatore's 50. Wait, it's Playboy. It's Playboy Club.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, gratuitous Salvatore is always welcome. So you've got the Melon Margarita. Going clockwise, these are the cocktails they recommend us make. The Melon Margarita, 1.5 ounces of tequila, 1 ounce of Midori, 1 ounce of sweet and sour, lemon mix, blend, pour into a salted glass. And it's one of those old disco margarita glasses. The second drink, the Midori Sour, 2 ounces of sweet and sour. You heard that correctly, folks. 2 ounces of sweet and sour. 1 ounce of Midori blend. The third drink is the Melon Colada, 2 ounces of Midori, 1 ounce of rum, 6 ounces of pina colada mix.
Did you bring your pina colada mix?
Mate, this is my pina colada mix. This is a really good quality old Victoria pineapple. So, I mean, and I've got coconut cream, so I'm going to throw that as pina colada mix. So that's your Melon Colada. Then you've got the Midori Rocks. And the picture that they use for Midori Rocks, I'm going to hopefully get this image up there before the end of the feed, is Midori quite clearly on large ice cubes. And it says, pour Midori over crushed ice, add squeeze of lime. Right? So, I mean, whoever took the photo shoot didn't read the brief. Then there's the Honeydew Daiquiri, 1 ounce Midori, 1/2 ounce of white rum, 1 ounce of sweet and sour, lemon, or, and they stipulate, or fresh lemon juice and sugar, right? So that one, we can, instead of using sweet and sour, we can actually use lemon juice. And then there's the leaf. Did you get mint?
No, I fucked it. I didn't.
Okay, so the leaf is 1 ounce of Midori, 1/2 ounce of white rum, 2 ounces of half and half over the rocks and stir, garnished with a mint leaf.
That's like an early White Russian sort of.
Is it a late White Russian? Were they late
Or
to the party?
Or a late.
Like
I like Honeydew Daiquiri, but there's nothing honeydew about it at all. Like,
I think that Midori's meant to be honeydew flavor. That must be what they're saying.
Oh, right. There you go. See, read between the lines.
I mean, are we learning as we go?
Yes, because I have just realized I only just came back from the buttfuck other end of the world, so I don't.
Wherever the buttfuck other end of the world is, to them, this is the buttfuck other end of the world, okay? To them, they're in the center of the world. Where was it?
Kazakhstan, the land of.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, exactly. And what I mean about the buttfuck end of the world is that I was like, oh, these drinks all sound very easy. Sweet and sour, lemon. Did not read the half and half. Did not see the mint. I was like, I'll just wing it. I'll be fine. And here we are. So I think I might have to just be here for commentary reasons.
No, you can attempt, can't you? Like, you've got Midori and tequila. You can do the key ones. So how are you prepping your sweet and sour?
I have here my freshly juiced lime. I have here my freshly juiced lemon. I have some caster sugar, and I have a blender. So for those who have decided to tune into the latest edition of the Dean Callan Show with Dean and Dan, this is our special green Midori edition. Strategically planned straight after World's 50 Best Bars, as we this is obviously sponsored by World's 50 Best Hotel, and they just run out of budget for our segment of the show. We're the after party, and we're going to be presenting the Midori Green Machine Awards. This is going to be an award for the bar that is. I'm just vibing now.
It's the award for most underrated but most influential bartender of 2020.
There you go. That's it. Dean's called it.
Exactly, we just made it up as we were going.
Exactly. And we're going to make all these drinks on this wonderful advertisement. We're going to discuss a little bit of World's 50, just for the shits and giggles as we crack on, and give ourselves diabetes in the process.
Yeah, I think this might be actually a little bit painful in some respects. No disrespect for Midori, but I mean the world's palates, I would have to assume, have come quite a way. What is going on here?
Dare you take away from Studio 54's classic?
Ah, I see you're a connoisseur of the 1978 John Travolta Studio 54 launch story.
Exactly, and also, were you aware that the infamous potential First Lady of the United States, Kim Kardashian, was actually a brand ambassador for Midori for a considerable number of years?
Oh my God, that's
I have
nuts.
done my research. I have done my research.
But how do you become how can we have a brand ambassador that's that well known that we didn't know was a brand ambassador for something so well known? Are we out of touch in the industry?
Well, that's also that. Basically, what happened, to give a little bit of example of how all the shit came about with Midori and all that, we were getting drunk in Berlin, and we were like, hey, what's a thing that's delicious, but it's a guilty... What have you done? What's happened?
I lost a lemon to my sweet and sour mix.
That's okay. That's the zest, right? And
Yep.
and then last year when we were nominating stuff for Spirited Awards, I was like, you know what? Midori's coming back. We're having a good laugh with it. And I nominated for Product of the Year. And I wanted to tag Midori's online Instagram as I nominated it, like sort of, nominate. And they didn't have an Instagram. So
They didn't have an Instagram.
They didn't have an Instagram.
Wow, we should start one. Have they locked down the...
Well, that's the whole thing. I am the owner of the Midori Melon Liqueur.
Dude, are you for real?
Yeah, I am. You can go on Instagram right now and you will find Midori Melon Liqueur. People have been tagging me. I've been replying back to stuff. And the tagline is, Midori is the shit, bro. And it's the original melon liqueur, born in Japan, made in Japan, born in New York City, 1978, when it was launched, and then bringing melon back worldwide in 2020.
That's epic, dude. You know, like I've got Dale DeGroff on the show in a couple of weeks. I'm going to ask him if he was at that Studio 54 launch party, right?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
He could have been. What if he was bartending? What if we find out that he bartended at Studio 54? Like, and just didn't bother telling anyone.
God, Midori would be having a PR field day for the entree.
Obviously not. Your Insta handle might get a few extra followers, but they don't seem to have a PR. Do they even have a PR? That's by the sounds of it, they're not interested.
So they had an actual genuinely decent brand ambassador 20 years ago, from what I am told. I found some old videos from Australian bars, like Daryl.
Oh my God. Wait, 20 years ago, who was it?
Fuck, I'll have to...
It wasn't Manuel Turon.
Manuel? Yes.
Yeah, was that 20 years ago?
Well,
how old am I?
There's YouTube videos from like 2002, 2004.
Oh, you're talking about mixing with the best.
I have no idea, maybe. But basically, he's making Midori cocktails in Australia.
Yeah, man. So Manuel Turon did what's called mixing with the best years ago. And Manuel Turon traveled to the bars that were at the time the perceived to be the best bars in the world. So he went to Player, I think, back in Player in Soho. He went to a few bars around the world. He even went to Hamilton Island in Australia and made drinks on Hamilton Island. It was a concept that, from my knowledge, was developed, or it was originally a concept by Raj Nagra that he wanted to do with Bacardi. And Bacardi didn't want to have anything to do with it. So the producer that Raj was working with at the time went to Suntory, or opened it to anyone that would sponsor it. And Suntory did it, but without doing it with Raj, they did it with Manuel Turon. And Manuel's an excellent host, actually. I won a cocktail competition against Midori that Manuel was I myself and a team did.
Is this blue versus green in Kalukale a couple of years back?
Yeah, it was blue versus green in London Cocktail Club.
Right. Okay. My bad. So is that the one where Stuart Hudson was tied to a pole?
Yeah, I was on Hudson's team.
Right. Okay.
So my sweet and sour mix is going to consist of a bunch of lemon juice, and then do I even have any sugar? And a pinch of sugar. There we go.
I've just made some. It was a free poured amount of lemon lime and a I don't know, some number amounts of sugar that was dissolved. Right, so we're not actually sponsored by Midori. You bought a bottle, I bought a bottle.
Yeah, I know. This is the first time I've ever. Well, we said we were going to do it. Let's not assume brands will just help us out with stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, it's more for the audience.
Yeah, it's for the people that watch it that desperately want to know what to do with a bottle of Midori.
Exactly, because you all have it in the back bar somewhere.
I should have printed this. Okay, first one, Melon Margarita. 1.5 ounces of tequila, 1 ounce of Midori, 1 ounce of sweet and sour. So, to me, that's a Japanese slipper, the original Japanese slipper, right?
Right.
And I am going to, God help me, what tequila am I going to use for this?
Well, I've got one that sponsored World's 50 Best Bars, Dean, Altos.
Oh, right. Okay. So, like, Pato Giannanoni, the guy that won, like, Bartender's Bartender. Have you ever met him?
I have met him. He's a lovely, lovely man.
Is he really cool? Because I assume he has to be really cool, right?
He's one of the cooler people in the industry. Like, some people just speak and they're cool. And he's got this vibe of sort of like an old rock star or driver. He does his thing. He's not here to please anyone. He just shares his love. Super genuine dude.
So he's like a South American Daniela Della Pola type thing.
Yeah, but less. Yeah, definitely. A little bit less intense. More like a humming.
Della Pola intense?
He can be.
Yeah,
I've seen.
I know. It was a joke.
But anyway, this guy is like a humming of like a Mustang GT in the background.
Ooh.
His voice is very soothing. Like, he could put kids to sleep just by telling them something. He's got a,
That sounds creepy.
Morgan Freeman, that narrate things. You can ask him to talk about a carpet, and it would be like amazing. All right, 1 ounce of Midori, 1 ounce of tequila, right?
1.5 ounces of tequila, 1 of Midori, and 1 of sweet and sour. In this case, mate, my sweet and sour, I'm not going to lie, is basically just sweet. Just sour. I put a little bit of sugar syrup.
Fair enough.
I've
got...
That is sour. That's sour, sweet and sour. That's even more extra sour than normal lemons would be. Mate, I don't think we're going to make a dent in this bottle of Midori. They lied to us.
Those being Centauris with their propaganda.
All right, so.
All right, I've got the... Are we shaking this, right?
Crushed ice in mine.
Oh, God. Is it blended?
Yeah, man, it says blend.
Okay, right, my bad.
The picture has a big old salty, old school... this looks like it was released in the 80s, dude. Blending would have been so shit hot back then.
Right, well, there you go. I've got my blender. We're ready to go.
All right, mine's going on.
Right, here we go. Just a couple more.
Are we gonna rate these drinks for their saleability in 2021?
Sure.
My blender doesn't really sound like it's working too hard, man.
Say again?
So I used Cali 23 Reposado in mine. I doubt Sophie's going to be watching, but if she is...
Look at that color. Look at that color.
Oh, disco. That was the shake. That was the blender complaining. Like, why?
Oh, look at that. Perfect. Just on the brim. That's what you want to see. I've got that right in. That's it. It's empty.
It's like we've done this before, or maybe the ingredients are so perfectly laid out. Like these recipes are just, they nailed it. They got their drink strategy so good, they never updated it.
But Midori's contacting the Ginza bartender who's still 89 shaking cocktails who made these original recipes going, May 2020, you've got it. Fucking nailed it.
He's not trying to shake him anymore. He's just like standing still.
It's having an aneurysm.
So Julian DeFerrell's come in and said that, like, sorry to break the dream, Dean, but Dale certainly wasn't working at Studio 54. He's talked to some old Studio 54 bartenders. Julian DeFerrell, you know,
he's
the
so fun
crusher
at
of
party.
dreams.
What a fun guy.
A
So
geeky
much
nugget
fun.
for you fellas. Although Midori was renamed and relaunched by Suntory in 78, yeah, he's going to say 1971. They had it at the distillery, right? And they gave it to women because the women didn't drink whiskey. Am I correct? Please tell me I'm correct. Right?
You in? I'm in.
Oh,
I've got no...
I probably should have put more sugar in the lemon.
Mine's perfect.
Ooh.
Actually, mine could use a bit more sugar too. If I think about it.
Maybe I'm being mean. I haven't tasted Midori by itself in a while.
It's sweet.
Maybe it's not as sweet as I remember it being. I'm going to put a dash more in there and actually try to taste these things for what they really are.
I love how Julian's like commenting on the historical accuracies of Midori. I love this shit, you know what I mean? Like, us who were not around when it was launched, blah, blah, blah. Studio 54, Dale didn't bartend. Julian, didn't you invent cucumber and water back in 2003? You're such a killjoy.
And he's like, I sent you messages, Dean, of the old stuff on your message. I'm on a live feed, Julian. Like I'm supposed to concentrate.
He's the guy on the internet with a
Whoa.
keyboard warrior. Oh my god, this is so wrong.
Okay, I'm getting a freeze headache.
Oh, are you getting brain freeze?
So I'm gonna have a taste of this because I haven't tasted it by itself in so long. Also, do you know how to make a quick fuck shot?
No, I have never quick fuck shot, but please do enlighten me about the quick fuck shot.
Give me 1 second. Right, I'm gonna change to a different angle so I can do mix zoom. Right,
Ooh.
and I'm gonna do this. Let me get this just. Oh,
Yeah.
that looks
Focus.
a bit more tack sharp, as they say in the industry. And let me demonstrate how to make a quick fuck for the kids at home who've never been asked for one. All right, you didn't ask for this, but this is bonus content. If I was someone that was chasing money, which I probably will become soon when I go totally broke, I would say stuff like, this is an exclusive to our Patreon, and we'd cut to a sponsor of my Patreon or something like that.
It's exclusive to my OnlyFans. It's a quick fuck shot.
This is to my paid fans. So this one, you could tell when someone went to like a private boarding school in Australia. When they came in, they were like, mate, yeah, could I just get a couple of QF shots, please, mate, if you don't mind? And you'd be like, quick fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like, is that what you said? And they'd be like, yeah. But obviously they didn't want to say, you know, the words. So if you can see that there's layers there somehow, you've got the Kahlua Midori, if I'm remembering this correctly, and then you layer very carefully the Baileys on top, which isn't really working. It's almost going below. Used to work.
I hate Baileys.
Oh.
I can't stand it.
This is a quick fuck gone wrong. This is like.
Which is most quick fucks. They don't go right.
Can we call it a quick fail?
A quick what?
Quick fail.
A quick fail. A quick fail around the back. Well, how's that?
Very sweet.
Delicious.
All right. So next drink.
Well, before we move on, since we're doing like 5 drinks and there's 50 bars, let's quickly have unnecessary commentary on world's 50 best bars.
So where would we be up to? We'd have done 10, right?
Right, so I'm just gonna read out the world's 50 best bars 2020 quickly, and then you just rattle off what is on like in your head or something along those lines. Here we go. World's 50 best. Oh Jesus Christ! This is their official website, isn't it? World's 50 best. Here we go. The list 2020. Perfect. I don't want to watch. Just give me the fucking list. It's a million websites. Just give me the stupid list. 50 best bars. Oh, you didn't watch any of it, right? So you have absolutely no idea what the list is all about.
I watched it. I recorded it and everything, but the audio cut out. I think that I took notes, right? And it's like, my notes read, Perrier.
Okay.
Finest water sourced from France.
Oh,
Is Perrier made in France now? Like, is Perrier from France?
Is it Perrier? Sounds French.
No, I mean the water that they're using, is all the water in Perrier around the world actually sourced from France, and then all those glass bottles shipped around the world?
Well, here, that's a good point, but obviously not. Yeah, it's not going to be California. I'll tell you that. Nestle won't have it.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. It's Nestle. I wouldn't be surprised. I think they're making Perrier water in Flint, Michigan.
No, is that the Flint, Michigan? Like people from the water?
Yeah, where the people can't get clean water, but they're actually they're selling Perrier water from there. I don't know. Could be a conspiracy theory. I think I heard some crazy person say that.
Oh, here we go.
Perrier. I could be wrong. In fact, I'd love it if I'm wrong. Like, because I find it difficult that someone who ships glass bottles of water all around the world is giving away sustainability awards.
Well, it's the same as the Nicaraguan rum Flor de Caña, like killed a whole village a couple of years ago, and then the PR person came along and was like, let's make a sustainability cocktail comp to make up for the kill this entire village. It's hilarious.
That sounds bad. I didn't know about that. Right, back to positive stuff.
Back to positive. I can't find this list for some reason.
Well, I've also taken notes, right? That in the live stream, they said that Bulletin Place was arguably Australia's first craft cocktail bar and brought craft cocktails to Australia.
Ooh, that
like what?
That is...
What? You hadn't heard of, like, before Bulletin Place in 2012 or something? Like, was it 2012? Is there anyone else that finds that a bit strange? Hey, Mitch, if you're watching, mate, when was the first craft cocktail bar launched in Australia? Was it Bulletin Place?
Wow.
I just found
Tim
that funny.
Phillips getting a lot of hate mail right now.
Oh, I love Tim Phillips. I love Bulletin Place. But it said arguably. I don't think Tim Phillips said that.
No, of course not. No, of course not.
Say that.
Of course, no. I'm saying he must be getting a lot of hate mail on behalf of what was said. You know what I mean?
Oh, people have to know better than that.
I'm giving, like, okay, anything I say, dear viewers, take Dean as the professional and me as the pinch of salt, unnecessary commentator. I'm just going to be shit stirring worse than Dean was at the Ministry of Rum versus Richard Steele the other day.
It's true though, right? What's the difference between glycerin and sweetener and sugar? Like,
Dean, don't start this again before
I'm back.
you get cancelled. How dare you express an opinion and back it up with anything that goes against the mainstream narrative of a group that supports rum?
Yeah.
Right? Just stop. No, okay, I'm not, shit stirring aside. My note that I took was when Employees Only New York was nominated, like number 38 or something. And they mentioned specifically, Employees Only was designed by Steve Schneider for New York City. And I was like, come on, like, okay, maybe you could talk about Singapore or the Hong Kong version, but like, Steve is a genius and he designed the New York one. I'm like, Jesus Christ, a Google search will just rectify that. It's like
I don't think Steve said that either. I don't think
any of the comments were from anyone who's working at the bar.
The second drink is blended and strained as well. It says blend and strain, dude. Blend and strain.
Strain?
So it's 2 ounces sweet and sour, 1 ounce of Midori.
Okay, here we go. Let's look at this thing. All right, here we go.
And it doesn't. I love this. it doesn't say it's got ice in it, but I'm just going to hazard a guess that, you know, we want some ice. So I'm going to go and I'm going to sacrifice, because I couldn't buy normal ice, one of my amazing, perfectly clear Ice Studio London ice cubes, which if there ever was a sponsor for the show, it'd be Carlos Pinto, because he drops me off his ice. You know, when they're not absolutely bang on perfect, then there's a good chance I might get them. And that's excellent for me.
I've heard about this guy. I heard that he's like the guy to go to.
Dude, it's not just like you're going to someone. There's obviously other companies that make great ice, but these guys are absolutely lovely. You know, like, you know, when you it's a pleasure to deal with someone.
Yep. Right, here we go. You've done your bit. I'll blend mine. Let's do this. Are you actually straining yours?
Well, I don't need to strain mine. I think my ice has basically like turned it into a slushy.
All right.
I've overdone the ice here. Look, we're failing at drinks we're like laughing at, we're turning our noses up at. Are we pretentious? Am I pretentious? You're not failing, are you? Yeah. See, yours is perfect. I put too much ice in.
I see bits in my eyes.
All right. So mine is literally a slushy.
Mine is not.
And I'm surprised how perfectly it fits in this Libby American series Art Deco glassware that I got. Did you see these? They just got released.
Yeah, I saw in the press release they've got a really thick stem.
Yeah. And when you turn it sideways, right? It's nice, so thick. It's pretty cool.
All right, there you go. Libby, send me some glassware.
Oh, bro. Why 2 ounces of sour mix?
That's not pleasant. Also,
they've got sour mix taste like. What did their sour mix taste like?
They've got a huge head in the like. I feel like there was egg white involved at some point.
No, there's cream.
No, but look at the photo. It's like there's a huge proppy head.
But the old school powdered sweet and sour mix, or the stuff that you got in the final core bottles, it had an emulsifier in it that gave everything head. Like it was like you know, like what's the Zeggy or whatever it is, the vegan like frothing powder.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Like
there you
imagine they integrate into sour mix a bit of protein powder or whatever it is to make it emulsify things. So every time you shake a sour, it comes out with a nice golden head or like nice white head, because they put this stuff in the artificial sweet and sour mix. It's basically people using like a citric mix with like malic and citric acid, a little bit of sugar, and then you know, an aquafaba or something like that, which today would be quite cutting edge, but literally in the 80s that came in a powdered mix.
Well, there you go, retro. We're all going back.
Yeah, everyone's going back to the old school.
Except Remy Savage is going back to shapes and colors.
He's what?
Going back to shapes and colors, Dean. He's going back to shapes and colors.
Ah.
He's going to the Bauhaus, to the old school.
Remy Savage is always like miles ahead of everyone else.
There you go. He's like Prince, the singer, turned into a symbol.
So Mitch has commented there were definitely no craft cocktails in Australia until Tim won World Class.
I still remember the video that went viral of Tim with his resurrection flip, where he was in front of Wenner-san and he like fucked his shaker, but then in reality he'd put his entire drink into an eggshell and just shook it and stuff like that. It's probably one of the coolest moments I've ever seen in a comp.
That's pretty cool.
Well, that's, you know, I haven't been to many comps, I guess.
I thought you judged like half the comps the last couple of years with cocktails for you.
Yeah, but the thing is, they weren't like world class, were they? And if you think about it, if we're gonna go down this rabbit hole, the people competing in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, it was a different grade of bartender, in my opinion.
Yeah, but if they're from your era of bartending, then of course you're going to think like these guys were amazing because at the time they were your peers.
No, I don't. I'm talking about more choreography versus what they were trying to do. I think the people that were competing were a bit older and a bit more. This is just completely biased opinion from where
Yeah.
I just felt, I feel, and I'm not talking about comps I took part in. I'm just seeing what I saw. Right. They tend to be a bit older, a bit more with a bit more time, a bit more, you know, because then sort of hit off, and there was a new champion every year, and it's hard to attract talent when the best people win, and then they all end up becoming champions or whatever, and judging and they
you have to get fresh talent in each time.
Yeah, and it's difficult because every year to have a knockout winner is not exactly what I mean, like a world class level. It's not easy. You ran Monkey Shoulder for years, right?
Yeah, Ultimate Bartending Championship was quite difficult. Mostly because the old school dudes didn't want to enter in that comp because it was literally aimed at basics, speed and accuracy and like anyone could have won that.
I haven't done a full shift in years. Why the fuck would I want to hold up a tray and look like an idiot? I'll get shat on.
But no, come on, man. If you've got years of experience, you can pull a shift. Like you can be quick and on the point for a short amount of time. Because actually, the one thing that experience demonstrates is that with experience, you get a sense of confidence and calm that guides you through pressure situations. Like
I would agree with that.
Like rematch, Stuart Hudson, right? That guy doesn't bartend every single day, but he studies his every tiny little detail of movement and then bosses it out in a minute and a half. Like.
So talking about old school and calm, we're on to the pina colada.
Yeah, this is a melon colada. So the recipe, I mean, it's 2 ounces of Midori, 1 ounce of rum, 6 ounces of pina colada mix. In this case, I'm just putting a few chunks of pineapple, and it's an amazing, really aromatic, flavorsome pineapple. I've got a bit of coconut cream and crushed ice, and then I'm gonna put my 1 ounce of sour mix, but I'm gonna kind of come a little low on that one this time, and it was 2 ounces of Midori this time and 1 ounce of rum. So what rum have you got?
I am lucky enough to have no other white rum in the bar except in the house except Ray Nephew Overproof. So we're going balls to the wall. There you go.
I'm trying to think of what would be a good match for this particular drink, and you know what I'm gonna do? God, I don't. I'm gonna use Kapali, right? It's a white rum from the heart of the rainforest. It's
That sounds like a press release response.
Yeah, man, distilled from fresh sugarcane juice and pure canopy water. You know that means that they're going up into the trees and catching the drops before they hit the ground. That's pretty badass. That's from Belize. And you know who the brand ambassador is for this?
Who?
Julie Reiner.
What?
Julie Reiner is the brand ambassador for this now.
Well, Schumann is not stocking that rum.
Oh, low blow. That was 2 years ago, man. Speaking of which,
elephants never.
50 best. I mean, who's going to get in trouble this year?
Oh, it's just a matter of time, dudes. Like, look at the announcements. Look at the people featured in the videos. Well, they'll be aware. They'll find something.
Right. So, are you blending yours?
It says mix and blender.
Mix in blender. The language changes all the time.
There you go. I'm mixing it in a blender. I'm just gonna mix my blender around. I don't know. I don't actually have. There you go. Mix and blender. So, as we're doing all that, let's talk about anything else about 50 Best. I've got a next one, 41 to 45. The winners are Artesian, which is from London, your hometown, 41. 42 is Sober Company from Shingo. Industrial Experimental Bistro in Taipei, Bar Trigona, and Drink Kong.
Mate, did Drink Kong close?
No, they didn't. They were working.
Thank God. I thought I seen a message saying that they were closing up shop. They'll be back, but like COVID's done it.
No, Drink Kong's fine as far as I know.
Thank God, because those guys deserve better than that, man. That's not fair.
Well, it's, you know, I found the list this year to be strange, but also not strange. I feel like there's a lot more Asian bars in it. How's the drink?
Mate, that rum is cutting through all the other stuff. This rum is not messing around.
So that's that canopy water.
I am actually not joking. That actually, that tastes all right. Like, it's largely because of the rum. I mean, it obviously needs work, but you could do something with this. Like,
my supposed is in a Looney Tunes glass because you know, glassware. I've got it.
This is good. It's in a Looney Tunes glass. How did you find a Looney Tunes glass? Do they know you're putting booze in it on live TV or live YouTube?
I'm pretty sure that this was just a Nutella with the Looney Tunes for kids, and then I kept the glass. Are you one of those people who, like, just the jam runs out, it'll be good for something. You'll end up putting something in it, right?
Interesting story.
Uh-huh.
Right? When I was 14 years old. Oh, I was 13 years old. I hadn't turned 14 yet.
25 years ago, before the Botox, yes.
25 years ago. Yeah, it is 25 years ago. Shit.
Holy shit! Nailed it!
So I hadn't gotten into high school yet. So I could have been 12. I'm pretty sure I was 13. Well, it was just before my 13th birthday. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I wasn't in high school yet. And my older stepsister had a house party, right? And at this house party, she invites a bunch of girls. There's a whole bunch of girls at this house party, but there's also a bunch of guys, and they're much older than me, and they're all having drinks. And you know, there was these jam jar glasses, right? So you have a jam jar, and on the top there's a metal lid, and when you finish with the jam jar, you've got a glass. And it had like little bubbles in the bottom of it and everything, but it was a considerable size glass. Now in Australia, they have these massive big boxes of what they refer to as goon, and it's like a 4.5 liter or whatever red wine.
What wine, isn't it? Goon.
Yeah, it's goon bag. Is what everyone was carrying on their person outside my house and partying up, and all these kids were older than me, and they're all drinking goon, and they dared me to have some. Now, me being the like arrogant little shit that I was. I drank 14 glasses, one after another, of goon, which was Lambrusco wine, which was quite strong. And the thing is, it was going down like water, you know? I was like, I can drink this. And I didn't know the consequences. So it's going down. And the whole time they're like, Dino. And then I got in trouble because they were cheering more and more. And I had a shot of Black Douglas Scotch whiskey, 1 Crown Lager beer, and then I had 1 shot of Bundy rum. And the last flavor that stuck in my throat was that Bundy rum. And then I got invited back inside to my stepmom, who was saying, have you had anything to drink? And I'm like going, no. And my stepsister's holding my shoulders, and I'm doing these ones. And I could feel my body going backwards. And I was like, no. And she sent me to bed. And I went to bed, and then I puked outside my window, right? But I then went to the toilet to try to not puke outside the window because someone might hear. And I went to the toilet, and I puked all over the toilet. And then I took all my clothes off till I was completely naked to clean up all the toilet. Thought it was a genius idea. My idea was I was going to scoot out of the toilet into the bathroom, and no one would see me, and I could put a towel on and, you know, freshen up. But there was a bunch of girls at this party, and that was the only toilet the girls could use. So as I'm in there, a line started to form, and my dad broke into the toilet by clicking the lock, and there's me standing completely naked, being like, "I'm saving the world from using this toilet." You know, embarrassing moment.
That was something. I'm just impressed at the age of 14 you did 1 glass of goon per year of living, plus a shot of and what? Wait, what set that off again? What was the basis of the story?
The jam jar thing, your Nutella.
Ah, okay, there you go. I like the way your mind works. It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This
I like
is actually not that bad, man. Rum goes well. I'm giving this one. So far, this is a winner.
Right. Wait a minute. We were meant to rank them, right? So the Midori sour, I'm saying.
Well, we have to go to the end and then say this was our clear.
Okay, we'll go recipe. I'm not gonna lie. Anything with Ray Nephew for me tastes like Ray Nephew, so that's pretty good.
Well, I think one thing we've established is Midori melon liqueur balances much. It seems to harmonize with white rum.
It's a good start. I like that. I like that thinking.
So this next one is pour Midori over the rocks and put a squeeze of lime. So for this one, I am gonna opt into one of. Have you seen Remy Savage's new glassware range?
I have. In fact, I even held my hand a couple of times.
They are. I mean, these are sexy. They're expensive. I'm not gonna lie. I swore I would never buy another glass after these.
Why don't you ask Remy? There's a special on-trade website you can go to where they're quarter of the price.
There's a what?
So for normal consumers, they're like $20.
Yeah.
But you can get them for like €5.
Thanks, man.
If you just ask Remy, there's a special like on-trade code, and like on their website where you can get it like a lot more cheaper.
Well, I didn't ask Remy. I bought them, and then now I own like all the different glassware, but at a I think it was like €140 or something.
Yeah, it's the stuff is insane.
But you know what? Like the thing is, I can imagine if I release some product someday, right? Which I dream of doing. I dream of having my own point of sale range, like tools, right? And I would hope that someone that can afford to actually buy it might buy it, so that the people that have supported me and like sponsored me to create the tools would see that there's actually a business proposition in it, and I'd get a second run done. You know what I mean? Rather than just giving them all out.
Well, yeah, but there's a whole element of, do you create something timeless, or do you create something fragile? Like Carico Shakers, when they moved from one factory to another and they started falling apart. You know.
You hold no punches.
And on my glassware, I've decided, speaking of glassware, this is a ceramic mug from St. Petersburg that I got as a present from a friend. And it's got pictures of St. Petersburg, and it never breaks, it only dents. So, yeah. So 2 ounces of Midori, right?
2 ounces, yeah, well, I put about 2 ounces, I think. Look, so I've just had a technical blip.
What have you done?
Well, one of the screens went out. And usually around this point, my audio would be like losing sync. So I'd go back over and make sure it works by putting on my Mitch's Minute. So you want to watch Mitch's Minute with me?
Yeah, whatever works, I'm in.
Oh, no.
Perfect.
Let me see if I can go straight into Mitch's Minute on this system, because we're using a different system.
What is Mitch's Minute? Can you explain to me what that is?
You'll be able to watch it. Have you got your phone there?
Yeah.
All right, so watch this. This is Mitch's Minute. Mitch is the world's greatest bartender that doesn't like do any media stuff or promote himself, or what he would call marketing
Mitch,
shit.
brand ambassador Mitch, moved to LA Mitch, got married Mitch. Mitch. Right.
The Mitch, oh no, Bushel, right?
The Mitch UFC fighter knocked some cunt out, Mitch.
Yeah, don't mess with Mitch.
Right, okay.
Okay, I'm going to put it on. We got 1 minute, and Mitch answers a question every day, first thing in the morning. So today I asked him, what's your favorite Midori cocktail?
right, what do we got? My favorite Midori drink. That's funny. We're in the desert because we're hiding out for the election because it's too stressful to be in the city. And I said something about a Midori Splice the other night, and everybody just looked at me. They're like, "What's a Midori Splice?" And it's I didn't realize that drink had never made the crossover. But personally, my favorite Midori drink, when Karen and I first started dating, we were in Sassafras on Vine in Los Angeles, and we were drinking Miller High Life and shots of whiskey and stuff, and I don't know, for reasons I can't explain, that somehow a bottle of Midori ended up on the bar top, and I poured maybe 25 mils into a Miller High Life and dubbed it the Swamp Water, and we had, I think, 2 or 3 of them a night. So that was, don't sleep on a Miller High Life with Midori.
Did you get that?
That sounds pretty good. Midori High Life.
It was a swamp water, he called it.
Yeah.
Which is a Miller High Life and Midori top. So I don't have Miller High Life for obvious reasons. You can't get Miller High Life in this country, but I do have a beer.
Why not? I don't get it. Like, why?
I don't know. Miller doesn't want people in the UK to be living the high life. Maybe like some old family member that owns Miller or something had some sort of issue with like British people or something. I don't know.
I love the tagline on the Miller High Life is the champagne of beers.
Yeah, man. You know what? I decided? I decided I want to start producing my own products. I want to be like not a brand ambassador, but a brand owner. And
start with Midori?
No, I'm going to start with a champagnoise process, but instead of putting a dosage in when you do the disgorgement, put in a botanical mix with like a fortification and loads of wormwood and turn it into vermouth and call it the champagne of vermouths. Champagne martini, anybody? Reverse martini, heavy on the vermouth, dash of gin. Bam.
Would go down a storm in Italy. They'd love to bastardize their product.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, right. Here. Midori on the rocks with a dash of lime can go eat a dick. That's not my thing.
I thought you were going to be like, this is good. All right, let me see.
I feel like we've got a drink to go and I've run out of fucking ice.
Why does it taste bad?
Because it's Midori and a dash of lime. It's just gross.
I'm glad Midori didn't. I mean, if Midori sponsored this and someone from Midori was watching, they'd be so upset with us.
Well, here, you want to hear some fun shit? Okay. 1 second, I'm just telling my wife to bring me ice. Please. So the fact that Midori...
Swamp water's good.
Swamp water's good?
Swamp water's not bad. Compared to all the stuff we've been drinking, swamp water's like fucking champagne.
Right, so here's a fun story about Midori. So after I created the page, I started speaking to Mario Ferrula from Rome. And he's been posting a bunch of stuff from Midori. I've been posting a bunch of stuff from Midori. Spaniard from Denmark's been posting a bunch of stuff from Midori. All sorts of shit going on. Next thing you know, Midori from US contacted the president of Tales of the Cocktail going, what's happening with Midori? We're seeing like people post stuff and what's going on. And Caroline, the president of Tales, was like, well, these idiots from Europe have decided to just post stuff. And they're like, well, what if they do a Midori? This is before coronavirus. This is December 2019.
This is 2019 BC.
2019 BC, 1 year BC, a couple of months BC. And they're like, what if they do a Midori party in... It's okay, I've told everybody you're bringing ice, so they're aware of your presence. There you go, thank you very much, you're the best. So they were like, what if they do a Midori party at Tales of the Cocktail 2020? And like, why not? Let's do a Studio 54 themed Midori party. So
has to happen. Don't tell Julian DeFell. He'll say it was his idea. He invented Studio 54.
Yeah, he'll invite Dale and then tell him not to work. and
You know what
bring
we
all
should
his
do?
friends.
Dude, please, if you do a Studio 54 pop-up, please get Dale to go off to work there so I can go, guess what, Julian? Dale did work at Studio 54.
So that happened, but then shit got weirder. So Mario, obviously Tails didn't happen, whatever. Mario started posting loads more about Midori. We decided to tease a Midori global cocktail comp that no one's sponsoring. Like, this is completely, there's no legal, there's all the legal ramifications of doing this. And then Jim Beam, Suntory, whenever reached out to Mario, like, well, what can we do? And we're like, well, it's not fun if you're actually sponsoring it. But
yeah, leave us alone. Or
yeah,
hate us.
but if you fly over Tipsy Bartender to work the shift of the night, that would be like the bomb. So they were like, well, how much does he cost? So Mario's been trying to reach out to Tipsy Bartender, to Sky John for like a year now. All his business contacts saying, how much for you? What do you need to fly over to Rome and guest bartend for one night? So that's what we're working on right now. Yeah.
Who was the actor in the movie Studio 54 with the short shorts and stuff?
No idea. Probably one of Dale's mates. Julian will know him. He was obviously around.
No, I mean, have you seen the movie 54?
No.
Oh, dude, you haven't seen the movie 54? It's got Salma Hayek in it. And the guy's like, you're the most gorgeous troglodyte I've ever seen. The guy's like, oh, thank you. And she's like, you're an idiot, man. A troglodyte is a Neanderthal. They called you a Neanderthal and you didn't even know, you know? Like, you don't... And the guy, best scene ever, right? Beautiful, because it's a bar thing. So he is a busboy. And the busboys wear no tops and golden short shorts. And it's all about having, like, abs and being ripped. And they cruise around in their golden short shorts. And he walks up. And he tries to bartend for the first time, and he goes up to one of the customers, and he's like, what'll it be? Right? And he's practiced it in the mirror. And the customer turns around and goes, what'll it be? Where did they get you? Like, who's this guy? And just shoots him down so bad. Like, you haven't seen Studio 54? It's brilliant. Dude, it's a great movie.
I have to watch it now.
Yeah,
after this.
Mike Myers is in it as the guy that owns 54, and like, yeah, there's a bunch of characters, but literally, like, I think they did some study, because at the end of that film, they show loads of photos and videos and stuff from people that were there, and the actual real, like, images of the outside of the club, and like there's things I learned from that movie. Like, if I ever owned a club, right, I wouldn't have a line. They didn't have a line out the front. They had a mob. And then the big boss would come out and go, you can come in, because actually, how do you know where you are in the line if you're not in a line? The mob moves around and they just pick people out. So there's not someone behind you walking past you. Genius, right?
That's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah, watch the movie, man. Before you do the Studio 54
I'll have to do that.
Because people, regardless of accuracy, people that have seen the film will have a preconception that the film is what 54 was.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anyway.
So that
Ryan Philippe.
Anyway.
It's Ryan Philippe. Gabby for the win. Ryan Philippe. It probably isn't that expensive an actor right now.
So yeah. So
you could, John Travolta also opened Studios 54 and 78. You could get Ryan Philippe.
So there you go. So we have to do that. So basically, that's the idea. Right now, it's to host the world's first unsponsored Midori global cocktail competition. No sponsors, no homemade ingredients. The judging panel is ridiculous. There's no judging panel actually, to be honest. Just me and Mario and whatever. And there's no rules per se other than no homemade ingredients. Just make everything. You've got a time limit, and the idea is that there is
a time limit, 54 seconds.
Something like that, yeah. There's a judge's choice, and then there's the crowd favorite. So you have to play the crowd. You have to play. It's completely like melon puns are gonna get like bonus points, and it just. No real thing. And so we're trying to get Mario's private investor for the hotel, to basically say, if anyone who wants to take part, if they buy a ticket to Rome, will let you. Will cover.
Okay, so it's going to happen in Rome.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen in Rome because the owner of the hotel Mario's Bars Inn is like he's quite young.
Yep.
And like, this sounds ridiculous. I'm in. And right now, like, there's not a lot of occupancy. So the idea was, if you buy a ticket and if you're in for this comp, you buy yourself a ticket to Rome, you fly yourself over, right? They'll take care of hotel stay. They'll put you up in a room for the 2 days.
And you just compete in a comp?
Yeah, just compete in a comp, and that's it. There's no. The prize is like, we're trying to get someone to fly, hopefully from Japan, to buy a square melon. Like, so,
how long have you got? You could probably grow one.
Well, there you go. So there's no. A lot of it's still in the air. The idea is that it's not sponsored by Midori or Beam Suntory. The idea was to get the sponsorship from anyone else. It's for jokes. It's for shits and giggles. I fly myself over to Rome. Mario's owner of the hotel is willing to put us up in rooms.
If I fly over, can I get a room if I'm the live stream guy? I'll live stream it.
Easy. And so the idea is that there's no real rules. There's no. It's the most ridiculous ramshackle event possible. There's no plan. There's no.
So dude, we got 2 more cocktails to do.
Okay, perfect. Let's do this.
So the last one is the Honeydew Daiquiri.
Is it 5 points for blended?
It's not blended.
Blend.
Oh, blend and pour. God, why do they blend everything? God, I don't want to blend this drink. Whatever. Let's follow the rules. So it's 2 parts Midori, 1 part white rum, 1 part lemon juice. Let's say lemon juice.
1 ounce Midori, half an ounce of white rum. Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 and 1, 2 to 1 part.
Okay, so yeah, it's still 2 to 1. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That Midori is going straight to my head, Dean.
Mate, this Swamp Water is the winner so far. Swamp Water is by far the winner. If you gave Swamp Water to someone, you get the right beer. You gave someone Swamp Water and said, "What is this?" They will struggle to tell you that this is Midori with Miller High Life, or in this case, small beer.
Small beer. Well, if they were given Rain F, right?
Yeah, they'll know it's right. Should I do the same as you? Oh.
Do you want to do a Salvatore Calabrese and free pour it? May God have mercy on souls, Dean.
So, how to go through a bottle of Midori, right? I mean, they're not very accurate with their statement of bottled Midori. So 2 parts.
Well, doesn't it say that there's another 39 melon drinks? This is just the front cover. It says there 39 melon drinks.
Well, all we got was the front cover, man. I'm not doing another 39 melon drinks. No way.
I feel like that's definitely a liter bottle they're using as well. You know?
Sponsored by Monin.
Say again?
So apparently his name is Scotty Taylor. Was it Scotty Taylor that wore the short shorts, or was it Scotty Taylor that owned the club?
For me, Scotty Taylor, Ryan Philippe all sound like exotic basketball players from Europe. And we're good. You got it. Maybe a little bit more. Yes, and we're in.
I'm going to go back to my American series.
American series? Tell me more.
It's a glassware.
Ah, okay, sorry, the Libby. So we kind of went off the thing with the 50 best. Since we're at the last leg, let's talk top 10 or top 20 or whatever.
Well, I've got notes, right? The things that stood out to me. Buck and Breck's back on the list. Have you ever been?
Okay, I'm gonna you know what? Fuck it, I don't give a shit. I dislike Buck and Bragg.
I actively dislike Buck and Breck. I can't understand how it's on there. I went twice. The first time, didn't like it. Second time, didn't like it. And like, I was brought in by a salesperson and I didn't like it that time. And I'm like, I don't get this place. The vibe's terrible. And then the third time, I fought tooth and nail not to go. I said I didn't want to go. I'm like, you know, third time, right? You know what? They deserve a chance. I'm going to go back third time. This time, a friend brought me and we called ahead. It was during Berlin Bar Convent, which I'm not a big fan of going to a place that's kind of pretentious during Berlin Bar Convent, but whatever. And she called ahead, told them we were coming. They said, yeah, come along. Told them on the phone how many people were coming. Then when we got there, they made us wait outside in the rain because the group was too big and they don't accept groups that big, and split us up and made us sit in 3 different parts of the bar. There was no one else in there. So one part of the group was over here, another part, and they chose. They didn't say split into 3 groups of 4 or whatever. They were like, you, and you up there. And we were like, man, this is like... And I was there when I was still a global brand ambassador for Monkey Shoulder. So I'd kind of like assumed people were going to dump me with the bill, which they did all the time, right? No card machine. We waited like 25 minutes, almost half an hour, and they were explaining their bar concept to other people that were moved to the bar. And they were like, oh no, our concept is this and this. And I come out and was like, hey guys, like, I don't mean to be rude, but do we need to come to the bar to order? And they were like, oh yeah, like they'd forgotten we were there. And then we got our drink orders in, and another must have been 45 minutes went by. And I went to leave. We all got up and started putting our jackets, and the floor person came out and went, hey guys, no, your drinks are on the way. And eventually another 10 minutes went by. And when I say 10 minutes, it was the longest time ever in the history of the world. And the entire BCB or Berlin Bar Convent was happening elsewhere. You know, we could have been anywhere else. And we're just sitting there, like chatting to each other, but with dry, parched mouths. It was like being forced to sit in the desert. Have you ever seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly?
Yes.
You know the scene where like he makes a Mexican guy walk through the desert and his face is all split up from the sun because he didn't have a hat on, and he's like, lips are all pursed and dry, and the other guy's drinking out of the canteen. That's what I felt like. I felt like the dude that's been left out to dry in the summer heat while someone just over there is having a nice tasty drink. It was disgustingly bad for me. And then when I went to pay for everyone's drinks, I went to pay for the drinks before we actually got them, and I had to walk 2 blocks to get to, in the rain, with no cover, no umbrella offered, to get to a cash machine. And I might sound like a prima donna right here, but after all that, when I got back, I buzzed the door, knocked on the door, and it took them ages, like drenched through while I waited for them to come back, as if they didn't realize I was coming back.
Well, Dean, when I was there, I was not in an Ennio Morricone movie, but it was kind of weird. I'd heard so much crap things about Buck and Breck that I avoided it like the plague. When we went there, it was not during BCB. It was an off day. There was only one person behind the bar. I'd heard that if you come here not during BCB, you get the real Buck and Breck. I'd heard from a bunch of folks. I'm not going to say who I was with or whatever the time was. It was December 2019. We got in. The guys were just rude to us.
They're super rude. Well, I think that's part of their service, though. Like,
yeah, but like it's one thing when you go to one of those American-themed bars where people treat you like shit on purpose, right? And it's another thing where this is a bar that's claimed to be one of the world's 50 best bars. I don't see it.
Someone voted. It's fucking 37. They're not claiming. It is. The industry has put that ahead of so many phenomenal bars.
And X amount of people around the world are claiming that this is a world's 50 best bar. And when I went there, they were rude to us. The person who was next to us was like, this place is amazing. They're really good. And he was even like, wow, this is really shit. I'd never get this service. And he's a Berlin bartender. And then again, but then the person who was rude left. We were left with the other bartender who was super nice. And I was explaining that I was like, you know what, like, let me just pay for the bill. I just want to go. Whatever. The drinks were classic. And then they said, no card machine. Me and a friend who was whatever. We went to the cash machine, got money, came back. There was no one in the bar. There was literally like 2 other people. When we got back, there was no one in the bar. And at this point, this is the weird part. We were shit-faced, obviously, prior to coming to this bar. And at this point, this person was so nice because we told him how much of a crap service we were getting. My friend got away with sitting on the top. The other person we were with, like, passed out in the toilet. And I would throw these people out if they were in my bar, right? I was like, the fuck? Like, I would understand you. Like, guys, come on. But they were just letting us get it. It went from really shit service to letting us getting away with, and I wasn't taking part in it, but I was like, fucking hell, this is just a mess. What is going on here? And I was like, let's just pay and get out. Why are you sitting on the bar eating crisps? Why are you passed out? What the fuck is going on?
People had lost their capacity to have decor. Like, well, look, my experience, the thing that broke my heart was I just wanted to go. I paid cash for everything. I paid for everyone so I could just say I need to go. If you guys want to come with me, then we're going. But I'm happy to. I just need to go. And then my friend kind of said to them, and it was not my intention. They were really rude to me. And my friend said to them, at the time I was a judge for Tales of the Cocktail. She was like, "Oh no, this Dean's really great. Like, he knows bars. He's really keen on bars. Like, you should chat to him. He's a judge at Tales of the Cocktail." And suddenly they came over and they were like, "Oh, come and see my bar and look at the setup and everything." And because I'd been explained, and I was like, no. I was like, ooh, no. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't do that. Like that was even worse. Maybe it was the circumstance. Maybe we'd had, but that was the third time. I felt when I seen it back on there, I was like, part of me is worried that maybe I just don't get it. And there's been a time in Germany before, I went to Munich and I went to Golden Bar. And Golden Bar, I'd heard, was like Hitler's office. And there were golden maps all over the wall of Europe, and that's kind of scary. That you go into a bar that used to be Hitler's office and there's gold-plated maps of Europe all over the walls. And then I found out that actually those maps were there before Hitler took over the place, that the American GIs had covered up those maps knowing that people would assume the wrong thing and then destroy them. And because they predated the Nazi party, they saved them, which is amazing. And then when they discovered them again, they put a post out asking, what should we do with this space? And Klaus St. Rainer, who turns out was quite cold-shouldered to me when I first went in there, because obviously I'm not his type of bartender. I'm like really casual and loose and chilled and wearing Nikes. And but when he started talking to me, he quizzed me. And when I was able to answer some of his questions and demonstrate that I was passionate about the bar industry, was really lovely to me. And I realized how nice a bar that actually is. When I first went in, I was like, these people are really kind of like dry to us, don't want to speak to us. And it used to be Hitler's office. I feel really uncomfortable. But once you actually got through that first barrier and started talking to them, it was phenomenal. So I've always in the back of my head been like, am I the barrier? But
well, yeah, no, you're completely correct. You should always think with your own brain, and you're right in going to Buck and Breck 3 times. Will I go back to Buck and Breck? I reluctantly, if the group wanted to, but I don't want to personally.
Yeah.
And I, like if I know I've done nothing wrong, it's one of these things that this is what I like people from the UK generally, or UK British consumers, or I guess the stiff upper lip thing. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't go. I leave. Like, there's not a lot of shitting on some place that goes on, right? It's just, I'm not going to spend my money there ever again. That's it. No one's getting a horrible Yelp.
Exactly. Like it's not nice to, well, we should move on from that actually. Well, another thing I realized, one of my favorite things was Bar Carnival, the ice chefs. Did you see that?
I've never been there, so.
Well, they got an ice chef who specializes in ice, and they have 21 different types of ice for different cocktails. And when it said 21 different types of ice, I couldn't help but think to myself, like, types of ice? Is it cuts of ice? Like, like, because in my freezer, I've already got, like, I'll have one tray of ice, that is like one size, and it's predetermined what size that is, and then the next tray are a different size, and they go in different glassware. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like, and they're slightly different sizes for slightly different glasses, but like they're the same type of ice. They're different sizes, they're different cuts, but they're not different types of ice. I was like, different types of ice?
Language.
So I'm like, wow, I need to go there. And then also another thing I noticed was maybe we shouldn't cut to the winner. Let's do the last cocktail, because we've been on an hour and 20 minutes. This is the longest show ever.
Well, there you go. The more drinks you do, the longer the show gets.
Right.
Yeah, say I've still got to go out of my house, and I'm on lockdown at 10 p.m. We can't leave the house after 10 in Barcelona.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up, Dean.
So apparently we need to sort out the audio. I'm going to ask what's wrong with the audio. So if there's anyone still watching,
is there anyone still paying attention?
I don't know if there is anyone still watching. It's different. So it's different setup, because I'm trying to make it so that it's easier for people to sign in. Then like half an hour before the event starts, you go like, I'm going live. But I don't know if it's the most comfortable thing to do. Right. So that last drink.
The Leaf, Midori, white rum, half and half on the rocks, stir. This is the only drink that's not blended.
No. Okay, so it's Midori, 1 ounce Midori, ½ ounce of white rum, 2 ounces of half and half. Yeah. So
you, baby.
Should we individually try to make this cocktail, like, maybe we taste it without the ice, and then see what we can do to tweak it to make it more modern?
That you have an actual back bar, you're all over it. I've only got milk, so I could always just go down the route of Midori and milk. That's always going to be delicious.
Oh, dude.
Midori and milk, baby. Yay, that's the way forward. And have you got half and half?
I'm not putting half and half. I'll put half as much double cream. What do I need? What? Milk and cream. Like, I'm not putting milk and cream. It doesn't make any sense. I would have just got single cream. Double cream, milk.
Single cream.
Am I wrong? Have I been doing it wrong the whole year?
That makes sense. You live in a country where you can get single cream. Here it's just cream. Cream and cream. I just live in a country of cream.
Maybe they're right, though, because the best food I've ever had was in Spain. In Barcelona, actually.
Was it single cream? It was just...
I don't know what it was. It was tickets.
Oh, well, that's far. I still need to go.
Go. Go. What? You haven't been to tickets?
It was not exactly very easy to get a reservation.
Mate, get a ticket.
Get a ticket to tickets.
Yeah.
Right, while you're making that, I'm going to read out the top... I really want to hear your opinion on this, because I know that you're going to be very politically well-spoken.
I missed out on what like Alex and Monica were saying, and what Eric said. I recorded it all, but apparently it didn't catch the audio, and I got a phone call from the Guinness guy just before, because I'm getting a Guinness tap.
I heard that. I heard you got the Guinness.
This spot here? See this spot here? See this spot? There's going to be a giant Guinness tap right here, ladies and gentlemen. A big old Guinness tap, and then I'm going to have the best Guinness, and I'm going to drink Guinness. It's going to be vitamin G every day. And I'm actively going to try to do some form of exercise so I can justify consumption of massive amounts of Guinness. All right.
Bastard. Have you seen the new Guinness 00? No alcohol.
I hope if I can taste Guinness 00 or whatever they're going to call it, like if they can make non-alcoholic Guinness taste exactly like in a blind tasting, you can't tell the difference. Viscosity is the same, the creaminess is the same. It doesn't allow the oxygen to like penetrate the head, and if you don't disturb it too much, the nitrogen doesn't move out. If it's as perfect as Guinness is when you get it right, I'll drink it all the time. Like, I don't drink Guinness to get drunk. I just drink Guinness because it tastes great. Like, I will just drink it all day. I'll
Right, so
make it
you
into ice cream.
while you're stirring, and read out the top 10.
Okay.
From 10 onwards, we've got at number 10 we got the SG Club in Tokyo, Japan. I haven't been. I've heard amazing things. Then we have Jigger and Pony from Singapore.
Awesome. Love them.
I've never been to Singapore actually, and I've
What?
heard. Yeah, I know. It's a long story. I haven't been to Singapore. I've heard that the Jigger and Pony, the new team, is amazing as well.
Old team is amazing,
Koa,
man.
I have been to Hong Kong. I fucking love Koa. Some
Yeah.
of the best drinks I've had in years.
Awesome. And hospitality's brilliant. They show you a good time. They remember you from the last time you were there. They chat. It's good.
Some of the best drinks I've had in years, 100%. Koa. Maria Atlantico, haven't been to Argentina, don't know.
Unfortunately, I haven't been, but I'm gonna say that if it's on the list and it's in Argentina, then they're probably working harder to be on that list than a lot of the people otherwise.
100%. Quaint, Quant.
Oh, awesome.
I have been. I've really enjoyed it. That's it. There's nothing else to say really. Good coffee.
Lawrence.
Well, Eric Lawrence, as you might have heard, is a test tube baby created by Diageo to be a perfect bartender for hotels. He's not a real person.
Was he created by Diageo?
That's obviously, like I said, pinch of salt. I'm not a real person.
I thought he was like a demigod, like the son of Bacchus or something like that.
Well, I remember there was a conversation between at the alternative bar awards who was more like a Greek god, Dean Callan or Eric Lawrence, and I can't even remember who won. Tyre and Elementary at number 5.
Those guys work hard. And honestly, since lockdown, because Tayer's open early and during the day, and I mean, I've got a child and stuff, I'm able to go in there and enjoy it in the afternoon. And watching both Monica and Alex work that bar, put that music on, keep the flow going, interact with everyone, not to interact for too long, but also not for too short amount of time. Like engage in everything. They maintain eye contact every time they speak to you. I don't know if it's just me, but man, I had one of the best nights.
Cute baby. You have a cute baby. That's it.
I didn't bring Axel, but yeah, they did know about Axel. I had one of the best nights I've had in bars in years. I went to Swift in Soho, which I think is underrated a little bit. Maybe Swift guys aren't getting the attention they deserve. I then followed that up at Taron Elementary and then went to Little Mercies. And if there's one thing that this list is missing, have you heard of Little Mercies?
I've heard it's amazing.
It is fucking epic. And if the industry hasn't picked up on Little Mercies, do they deserve Little Mercies? Because that place was really good. And I mean, the 2 bars I went to prior were phenomenal, with phenomenal talent working in them. And I went to Little Mercies and they kept up that standard, So
I've only been to Swift during London Cocktail Week, and it's always been a good time. Tyre, I've only been during the day. Years ago, it was I never got to go to the back.
Yeah, you need to see it. You need to see it for what it is. Like, I think the front, you need to sit there for an afternoon. The front is like a place
I'll be there for like an hour.
Yeah, you can get all day coffee. You sit, you start interacting with other people, particularly from the on-trade. But today, if I was a brand ambassador, I'd just sit in the front of Taya with my laptop open, recycle some of my corporate expense account in there, and run into everyone from the trade that's coming in and out, chatting with Alex and Monica, going out the back, coming out the front. It's an active space. It's actually quite nice. But you have to spend an afternoon in the front. And in the back, you go in as they're bringing people in and spend an evening in the back. And as the drinks come out consistently good, it's not a place where they interact the way they did back at, for example, Alex at Artesian, or Monica would have done when she's got more time. They come up, they serve you, and they allow you to have a conversation, but they will talk to you. it can be really, really good. You need to feel comfortable in there, and that takes a little bit of time because it's a different looking bar to what you might be
Well,
used to.
nothing's going to have as much of a wonderful hospitality experience as Buck and Breck, obviously. Whatever. I don't know. I've been in there twice. It was during the day. Everyone was tired. We spoke to Alex for a moment. He was exhausted. Whatever. It was a good time. Had a 14-pound sandwich with the thing. It was all right. Whatever. Man, listen. Different cities, different situations. For me, I haven't been to the back. I've only been to the front. It was a nice coffee place. When we go to the back, we'll see what it's like.
I've heard comments that Old Street, the prices on Old Street are much lower than they might have been in Soho or Mayfair, and maybe the pricing's a little high. But otherwise,
listen, I'm not that engaged and have been there and had an experience, whatever. That's why I'm not commenting extensively. I think that if we're gonna get into it, like Atlas number 4, Clumsy's number 3, Dante number 2, Naring Young left. No idea how Dante's still up.
Where were we? Go back. What was 4?
Number 4 was Atlas in Singapore.
Oh yeah, come on, man. Atlas is awesome.
Then we've got Clumsy's in Greece, number 3.
Yeah, dude. Like when I seen Vasilis had dropped so massively on the influencer list, obviously it's down to the fact that the top 100 influencers is who's making active changes for the better and what is it, driving diversity and conversations around sustainability forward. Whatever way they phrased it, that makes sense. If he's not doing that and he's busy doing wrestling and being awesome at the bar game, that makes sense. But to see he's growing on that other list, like the actual bar is constantly moving forward. Love Clumsy's. I love everything they do, from the fermentation room downstairs to the lab upstairs where they open it, and they don't just advertise that they have a lab. They invite junior bartenders to come and spend a week learning from their lab guys how to work a lab consistently.
Well, that's an internship that's paid for. That's not an invitation.
Well, they invited me back in the day before they started doing it. I got an invite, and then I didn't take it up. I probably should have.
Yeah, but Dean, you're you. Like, I'm sure you got an invite. That's the whole. If we're gonna get into this, right? Let's get into it since we're doing it. There's some people on the list. Most people on the list are stalwarts in our industry, right? They've been around for years. My perception of the list this year is that the people that are sticking true or sticking high are the people that have been doing this for years, and that makes sense. During a pandemic, you're going to vote for people that are stable, strong and stable, to paraphrase UK politics.
Yes, wrong.
Well, whatever.
Stable is not UK politics, but anyway, let's not talk politics. I mean,
yes,
we've been waiting for results on this list for days, nail biting, waiting to find out who won 50 best.
Number 2 was Dante in New York City. I'm pretty surprised that they dropped one or stayed so high, because Naren, as far as I know, is not part of the team anymore. But I don't know.
This is part of the curse of the 50 best. Everyone that wins, people come out and say, like, this person did something terrible 10 years ago. And I mean, I'm not one to comment on what Naren did.
I don't know what he did. I was just saying I know he's not there.
Well, there was after Dante won last year, there literally moments later there was a hashtag Me Too. Naren was a creep and I don't know what he did, but he obviously did something quite wrong at a trade show 10 years prior or something. And Naren came out and said, yeah, I was an idiot. I did something inappropriate. It was, not to be forgiven, but I think people do change. And the person I am today is different to the person I was then. I hope that people understand that, and that people recognize my track record now and the person I am now and moving forward, rather than a mistake I made a long time ago, and I've apologized profusely. And then they released a video saying, like, Lyndon and his wife came up with it, and Naren was removed from all media on that, which is like...
Right, I didn't know what happened. I didn't see the video.
Yeah, so Naren was the face, and then suddenly Naren... It's like I was like, whoa, that's heavy.
I was
Whether
gonna
or not
say that-
Naran was part of that, I don't know.
That sounds heavy.
Yeah, it was pretty heavy. I don't know what he did, but apparently there was a bit cancel culture, I would say, but again, I don't know what he did. It's like people going in 69 Colebrook Road. The bartenders must be lovely. That's cool, but I mean, for me personally, you stop punching people. You know, you break someone's bones, then you live within that realm. So if I went in there and Tony C was in there, because he now plays by prison rules, I'm allowed to fight him. In my logic. Am I right?
Well, yeah, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, like the conversation we're having now, right, about Tony C and about Naren, something I didn't even know. Now that it's been universally mainstream, someone's been put into a box, it's easy to talk about it, but was anybody talking about this prior to some sort of movement, right? I don't know.
I think the awards raise people's awareness of a character, or them being given an award, like Schumann, them being given an award. People can't stomach the constant, like, them being celebrated and then it comes out. But I think there's also like just bring it out before the awards come up. You know, like address things.
The closer you are to the spotlight, the more people are just a dick to you, in my opinion. The closer you are to...
I don't think it's... I think we should move on from this conversation, but I don't think it's a dick thing to call someone out that's done something wrong. If you're the person that they did it to, ultimately, or you're actually affected by it, I don't think it's a dick thing. I think a dick thing is if someone does something, especially when they're young and like and they don't, no one's perfect. But if you're not perfect, but you're improving day by day, and you're respectful and you learn from your mistakes, you know, that's the kind of people we need in the world. People that learn from their mistakes and move forward, but to become a better person day after day after day. Someone that digs a trench and fights their position, which particularly if their position is wrong, and continues to be horrible to people, they're the people we need to get rid of. You know what I mean? If someone's moving forward...
Goldine Bar is covered with maps of racism. Welcome to the TED Talk by...
No, but it turned out, like, I got defensive about that, and it turned out I was wrong. To get triggered, it turned out it was a completely not what it seemed on the surface by talking to the bartenders and finding out the story of the place. You see what I mean? Rather than getting triggered and just attacking. Like, attacking people blindly.
So, young
without
bartenders,
knowing them.
this is a message from Dean Callan, as if he was Michael Jackson. Don't do drugs. What about the drink?
It was James Brown who was like, this is a message for the kids that do not do drugs. Drugs are bad, okay? Drugs are super bad.
But there was also from Michael Jordan, which is like, don't get help. Don't do drugs, kids. Get help. How about that drink? How about that Midori half and half?
Mate, I added 2 bar spoons of Fernet Branca to mine, and I'm actually surprised at how nice it tastes. Fernet Branca and cream go really well together. Did you see that?
I didn't see you put it in because I was too busy monologuing, but I believe you.
I'm shocked at how well it works. So we have to do one thing.
Yes, what is it?
For the fans, and when I say fans, I mean it in the nicest possible way to Colin Myers. But Colin's asked us to do a Midori Splice. Let's go. And then he said, Illusion's next. So do you know Midori Splice?
No idea.
Oh, mate, you are in for the treat. I mean, when I say the treat, I mean this could be one of like life's biggest lessons in not ignoring the continent that is Australia. Is it a continent? Am I wrong?
I think it's a continent. It's definitely a continent.
Yeah, it's a continent, right? So if you decide you're going to ignore Australian bartending, you're ignoring an entire continent. You know, that's rude. You can't ignore an entire continent.
And what's in a Midori Splice there, Dean?
So a Midori Splice is Midori. Midori Malibu, I think. Midori Malibu. I forgot it already. Midori Malibu added into a hurricane, and I don't have pineapple juice, so I'm just muddling fresh pineapple. I hope it works out. Midori Malibu into a hurricane with loads of ice, pineapple juice, and then layer cream on top of that, and you give it to the guest, and then you mix it all up. It sounds gross.
That's something. That's like it's what an Irish coffee wants to be.
It sounds gross, but actually, if you get it, the first ever cocktail competition I entered was an 80s themed cocktail competition, and you had to make a
90s.
twist. You had to make a twist on an 80s cocktail. Unfortunately for me, no one else actually knew any 80s cocktails, so they made cocktails that looked kind of 80s. So, like, for example, Jay Lambert, who is a much better bartender than me, made a twist on, I think it was a white lady, and he made like a blue lady, and he put blue curacao instead of, curacao, and like made this like amazing blue drink, and like it looked 80s, but the bar manager of the place that was running the comp just kept saying like, that's not an 80s drink. And shitting on everything. But I made an actual 80s drink for her, and presented it up, and I got 3rd place, despite my drink tasting absolutely terrible.
But what is an 80s drink? Oh God,
a drink from the 80s, I think. We asked this question. I asked this question recently of like, define 80s drink or define disco drink. Because people are like, oh, let's get a disco drink in, and actually the disco era as such didn't really create many drinks, and some people call pina coladas and things like that disco drinks, but disco didn't exist in the 50s. You know what I mean?
So what's in the drink, Dean?
So I'm going to make the tiniest version of this drink that I possibly can.
Right. So
for
Malibu,
obvious reasons, because the pineapple juice I'm very low on.
Yeah.
And I also realize, do I even have Malibu? This is a tough question to be asking at such times. I may not have Malibu. Damn it. See, as much as I have disco stuff, do I have all the disco stuff? Right, so I'm just going to put the Midori in. You guys will get the idea. You'll see what it looks like at least. So Midori, you'd normally put Malibu. Pineapple.
Yeah.
Come on. That didn't warrant much pineapple juice, did it?
Layer the cream. Layer the cream.
Yeah, it's like, it sounds super gross. So my twist on this drink was to make a Thai splice. And I spliced it with Thai ingredients. So I muddled fresh ginger, lemongrass, and a little bit of chili. And then put the pineapple, muddled pineapple, put a bit of pineapple juice. And then put coconut in with the cream. So it was like Thai-inspired ingredients spliced into a Midori Splice. And that is like sans coconut Midori Splice. And then you do, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you kind of do these ones.
Right.
And you get this melony cream. And actually, if you get it right, there's too much cream in that. It tastes kind of like, you know, those like creamy ice cream fruit popsicles that you get?
So does it taste like the Midori and the leaf, the Midori white rum and half? Does it taste sort of like what they were recommending in the first place?
All right. I forget an illusion. Does anyone remember an illusion? Because I'm pretty sure Sydney 90s special, Colin Myers says.
Well, yeah, listen, I really got to go. So let's finish up.
All right, dude. Thank you so much for coming onto the show, man.
We have done 6 drinks out of 39 Midori. We have discussed the world's 50. We got into the hot waters with topics that you don't normally discuss. We have promoted free of charge, minus to our own financial gain, some Midori honeydew lemon liqueur if it's honeydew. And finally, I think one thing we failed to talk about and or congratulate is the Connaught Bar from London has grasped #1 spot in top 50.
I was going to say that. Do you know what I love about the Connaught?
The martini.
Do you remember how long ago Ago won Bartender of the Year for Tales of the Cocktail?
Like 9 years ago?
Maybe even more. Like, was it not? It was a long time ago. But to think, right? To think, Ago was at that level, and we talked earlier about Tales of the Cocktail and these awards where you've got these old school people that enter these competitions, and they've been around for a while. They win the competitions, and then the next generation has to come through and represent. But the previous generation is still around. You know, how does the next generation cut and make breakthrough when you've got Ago still ahead of the Connaught, right? So for me, like, to see Ago consistently, whether or not the Connaught's won or comes second or third, he's in the top 5, top 10 every year. You know, the American bar, they changed their system.
Yeah, they're keeping it real.
They had an exodus. Ago's consistently with his team in that top spot, well deserved. And I mean, like, best bar in the world is one that consistently wins or is consistently regarded as the best. One question I've got though, the Art of Hospitality Award, right? So the judges on the 50 best were asked to rate the best experience they got out of any bar. And then they were asked which one's the best bar. Now think about this for a moment. All the judges are asked to vote for two things. What's the best bar in the world? And which one did you have the best experience in?
Surely that's one and the same.
Not apparently. Apparently the best experience that any of them had across the board in any bar was maybe Sammy, which came 11th. Yet look, if Connaught is the best bar, how is it not the best experience?
Well,
that's a question for the ages. Like,
okay, if you want
to me your criteria, like.
No, wait. If we're going to do this, we're going to ask an open, difficult question, and you're going to ask this. I'd like to ask my own personal, openly difficult question. That's maybe a bit deeper beyond what you just found as an obvious loophole in the judging. All these awards, highest climber, most sustainable, specifically most sustainable, Jesus Christ, most high volume or bartender's bartender or something like this. Even the world's 50 as a whole, and I'm doing a whole video about awards again because of this top 500 awards that was a couple of days ago. If we're gonna get into this, sustainability, how the fuck do you measure sustainability, and how do you rate that across all of these bars all over the world? What is the criteria? There is no criteria. I haven't seen anyone. It's just, I think it's the most sustainable. And when they said the winner was from Latin America, I knew it was going to be Alquimico because they have a farm. That's kind of sustainable. But what's the
if it's a farm situation, you can follow it.
But the whole point is, how is that measured, right? And how do you know, it's like native. They've done a whole bunch of research, and Himcock won it. And now you've got Alchemic, whatever. How do you rate sustainability? What the fuck is sustainability? How do you work that out? A, B, best experience according to who? How many people have been to the most experienced best hospitality, art of hospitality? This is nothing against the bar that have won it. I'm talking about how is that defined. Yeah. And then there's bartender. Well, so bartenders who are in the top 50 get to pick their bartender's bartender. Without sounding like
the vote.
Well, like who sponsored by this person, or Campari's highest climber was Galaxy Bar, and they specifically said it in the announcement. Galaxy Bar in Dubai is amazing, blah 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 blah, and they're having an amazing Italian bar team. Well, that just sounds so dodgy. That sounds so weirdly like. I've never been to Galaxy Bar. I've never heard of Galaxy Bar. That doesn't mean the bar is bad. It's just I've been to Dubai more than others because I've got family there. And no one's got.
What do they need to mention that the bar team's Italian?
Why? Why do they have to mention that? It's
Yeah,
about.
that like I mean, if they'd said that they were a Taiwanese bar team, I would have been like awesome, but I would have then assumed that they do Taiwanese inspired service. So if it's
Why is
sponsored by
why,
Campari and they say they have an Italian bar team, you imagine they probably make a great Negroni. So maybe it was
well,
just a subtle
my whole
thing.
point is, why is where this team from anything to do with it? And when you're Campari and you specifically point that out during the announcement, it makes it sound like, oh, we picked them because they have an Italian, but that's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
Even
but
if
I mean, you've worked with brands, man, and like you have to remember that there might be someone who's a marketing manager who is very good at marketing and has a rule book, but they've come from selling diapers, or they've come from like GSK, like they used to sell pharmaceuticals, and they understand route to market, and they understand things that are important for a brand, and they understand it's important to sponsor things like these awards, and they put money behind these awards, but on one stipulation. They put a little bit of their marketing stuff in that they feel gives them a return on investment. I mean, the bar
listen
team,
to this, hire Dean Callan. Hire Dean Callan. He'll explain everything to you. He'll
mate,
explain.
I'll tell you what. I convinced a bar team, a brand management team, who absolutely did not want to invest in 50 Best, didn't want to have anything to do with them, said no, 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 no. We've got you. We don't need to invest in 50 Best for the on-trade. And I said, invest in them, because you, as the marketing manager who's come from not our world, right, need to go to the awards and then rub shoulders with the Agos and the Eric Lorinzes and the Monicas, and like you need to embed yourself in it and then see the feeling of that room. Go to Tails, feel it, because once you've felt it, you'll understand why we're so passionate about the on-trade, why we're so passionate, and why you can't just feed them marketing jargon and hope that they're going to digest it. These are big characters. You're basically, like Simon Ford said it best, bartenders are rock stars who never learned how to play an instrument, right? And then my guy invests in 50 Best and pays the money, and they stiffed him on a ticket. Sorry, we've got no tickets to the awards. And he was like,
I remember
mate,
this.
apparently your industry's really good at like taking care of each other, and once you're in. But I can't even get a ticket. And then I posted on social media. It turns out I had septicemia at the time, and I was about to go to hospital, but that's beside the point. I didn't feel great, but I posted on social media being like, apparently I'm not cool enough to get people a ticket anymore. And I'd openly asked, like, what's the story with these tickets after thousands of pounds of sponsorship had been spent? And the 50 Best people basically went, nah, I'm still not giving you a ticket. And the entire industry turned on me. So, you know, you can't
You
always.
fucking prima donna, Dean. Fuck off with your ego. You can't.
Yeah, you can't hire Dean and get him to inspire you to invest in the on-trade. Apparently, you have to talk to other people. Right. So I'm very quickly for Colin. I'm going to make an illusion in a shaker. So have you ever heard of an illusion shaker? I know you've got to go. Yeah, have you ever heard of one? Are you still there?
I'm still here. I don't know what an illusion shaker is.
So I'll tell you something, right? Australia did this amazing thing where you could go into a bar 23, 24, 25 years ago, and you could buy an illusion shaker. Now, an illusion cocktail was, as demonstrated here, 45 mils Midori, 15 vodka, 15 Cointreau, 45 pineapple juice, 15 lemon juice, shaken, strained over ice. You know, you get it in a big old illusion shaker, Hurricane. And you could buy that cocktail back in the day for like $8.50, $10, whatever it was. Or you could spend $13, $14 and get an illusion shaker. Now, the illusion shaker, I used to work in a bar where we would have stacks of these illusion shakers, and there were different colors. There were bright green ones that said Midori illusion shaker down the side. There were like silver limited edition ones. There were Christmas ones, and you'd buy an illusion shaker and you get to keep the shaker and take it home. And it's a plastic shaker, a 3-piece that looks like this, right? And it was a plastic shaker, Midori branding all over it, and you kept it. And you got some little shot glasses that had to go back to the bar. But basically, you'd shake up your Midori illusion shaker, and you could get it as a cocktail And it was a little bit more expensive to get a shaker, but ultimately the shaker was the same thing as the cocktail, except that it came in a shaker. You got to keep the shaker, and you'd strain one cocktail out into 5 or 6 shot glasses, and you and your mates would all like have a shot, order another one. And what it did was it sent the, like, I went to people's houses for house parties all over the Gold Coast and around Australia when they had these illusion shakers in their houses, and they'd make cocktails with them because there were recipes on the side.
That's amazing.
It was brilliant. It spread cocktail culture to bogans all around Australia.
Don't be a bogan. Drink Midori.
Yeah. Bogans are okay. We don't hate them.
I don't even know what a bogan is.
You don't know what a bogan is?
I've never been to Australia.
Oh, man. What? Yeah, you have to go to Australia.
I've been to Kazakhstan, I've been to Uzbekistan, I've been to South Africa, Lebanon, all sorts. Saudi Arabia, not been to Australia.
So you've been to both Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan?
Yeah, and
you know,
Kyrgyzstan.
Uzbekistan is twice landlocked.
Yeah, and Kazakhstan is completely landlocked.
It's what?
It's completely landlocked. It's
no, but I mean, Uzbekistan is, you have to go through 2 countries to get to the sea, right?
Kazakhstan is the same thing.
Mate, that's crazy.
Right.
Cheers.
Thank you for having me, my friend. Enjoy your illusion shaken shot.
This is the second. This is the second after swamp water.
There you go. Oh, we have to rate them, right? For me, the Honeydew Daiquiri, because I like Ray Nephew, was the best.
So here we go. So Colin, just so you can see, the sparkle shakers, which were the sparkly Midori illusion shakers, we went through 500 a week at $10 a shaker, right? Suntory smashed it for years. WTF, witness the fitness. Bogans made Suntory millions, right? Love it. I'm amazed at how much support there is for Midori. Thanks, man. Love you for coming on. And hopefully we can do it again in about half the time next time, right?
No worries. Life is the way it is. Take it easy, guys, and thank you for watching.
Thank you, everyone. And then play the outro, and we're going.